Hi there, my name is CJ Cordis, and this is SEO Explained with CJ. So, today I wanted to talk about a term that's kind of a newer term in our industry, and it's search everywhere optimization. Basically, we realized that search engine optimization, SEO, is no longer the only place that we really need to consider. And let me put it like this: there's always been marketing efforts that need to be done well rounded, but at the same time, SEO has been this huge focus for years. Search engine optimization, because it produces such a good quality lead, because so many people are on Google. In particular, Google has 90 something percent. I mean, it's pretty much 90%. I forget the exact number, but it's around 90% of the market share of search to this day. So even though you always have your traditional radio, TV, print, and all of those are still important and still valid for sure, and great ways of generating business, email marketing, stuff like that. Google is such a high trafficked place where people are going to actually look to find someone. They are searching to find someone. Whereas a lot of these other things are more interrupters, right? The radio advertisement, the TV, the billboard, they're interrupting, they're placed in front of you as something that you're not necessarily seeking to find. Now, an email list is something that you typically already know the company, and you've opted in to be on that email list. Whereas search engines are this tool where someone who doesn't know you is searching to find the best person in their industry, right? In the industry and the service that they're trying to find. So Google, having 90% or so of the market share, is the place to go. So you go to Google, you type a search, you're vetting people, and produces a really high quality lead. So search engine optimization has always been optimizing your profile and your website to be at the top. But I mean, let's be clear, it's really top of Google. I mean, Bing, um, DuckDuckGo, these other platforms have definitely, earning a spot, um, earning market share, and they're growing in market share too. I mean, the more that these Bing is a growing search engine, um, and so is DuckDuckGo and these other ones as well. So these search engines are growing, which is slowly chipping away market share from Google. But again, Google still has such high market share. So what is search everywhere optimization? Well, I heard the statistic, and I forgot where I heard it. It was a while ago. Actually, it wasn't too long ago, maybe 6 months ago. And it was something along the lines of the average person visits 4 to 6 platforms a day. I mean, this is YouTube right here. This video is going to post to Rumble also. Then it'll get blasted out on platforms like X, Facebook, Instagram. There's TikTok, Twitch. And just so many other like services that there's some that I don't even, haven't even had a chance to explore yet myself, because I get so used to the ones that I'm comfortable with. But there's people out there getting very comfortable with newer ones, people who are comfortable with using a lot of different tools. Some people like to pick and choose their favorites. Certain age groups tend to fall into certain streaming and social and search platforms, right? Um, and then you got AI, ChatGPT taking up all kinds of market share, or beginning to, right? And they introduced Search GPT, right? So there's just tons of options out there. Reddit, Discord, like geez, LinkedIn. I just keep going, right? Um, and people are on all of these. They're bouncing back and forth. They got their notifications on their app. They're jumping on one, checking it out, doing what they need to do on there, jumping on one, another one, checking out. And I guess from the statistic that I read, 4 to 6 average per day, right? So, and these aren't all being used the way that they used to, right? A lot of these platforms typically are being used for a certain reason. Like a lot of people on X, it's always been very news based, right? And then, but it's not really the case. They're all kind of blending together in a way, right? Being, with YouTube offering shorts now, um, that's similar to the TikTok vibe. And so you've got at Facebook video as well. So you've got these short videos that are like, now on multiple um, social media sites that people are on, right? And then you've got, some people go into different ones for news source. Some people go for funny videos. Some people go for learning and education. Some people go for searching and vetting. I mean, but now it's starting to cross, and people are really just on their favorite ones doing all kinds of stuff. The point being is they're everywhere and they're doing all kinds of stuff. People are looking in for things and businesses and knowledge and all kinds of places, right? Um, they might go to Facebook and ask everyone on their Facebook page, who do you know who does this, right? Then they might, you know, go and search some videos to see if they can see a business in action, working, doing, building trust in them. So, search everywhere optimization just means that you need to optimize your business profile, your business website, your business's content, your business's reputation, your team, your skills, expertise, your advice. All of this stuff needs to be placed on multiple platforms where people can get all of this information. Okay. I mean, that's really all it is. So search everywhere optimization means being everywhere you can, understanding the places where you're at and trying to deliver content that's, tailored to that place, right? Because certain people might be on an app for a reason. So if you're giving them the content that's about your business in the manner that they're expecting to receive it, then that's going to help them. You don't necessarily want to put the same piece of content everywhere. You might want short form versions of this here, short long form versions of that there. You might want more informational stuff here, more fun stuff and company values and team, goofiness, in XYZ spot, right? So yeah, understand the platforms where people are, understand why they're in those platforms, understand what they're doing on that platform, and then try to deliver content that represents your company to these platforms in a way that makes sense for the user who's on that platform. Um, right now, Search GPT, Chat GPT, Grok, Gemini, these are all the AI tools. They are really getting introduced into the world. They're getting picked up. They're getting used. People are feeling them out. People are testing them out. They themselves are testing them out, then adjusting them. These are learning tools, and AI is a learning tool, right? So the more you feed it, the more it learns. So the more that people use these tools, the more that we are going to be expanding knowledge on these platforms. So right now it's at its infancy, but it's going so fast. And I think that Google knows that that 90% market share is not going to exist for them forever. I mean, honestly, I don't even know how much longer. I mean, with the rapid advancement of these AI tools, is someone just going to stay on X, click Grok right from X and ask it, who's the best dentist, near me, who's the best dentist in my city? And if location services are turned on or they say the specific city name, is Grok going to be able to scan all its information and be able to produce the best result? And if they're scanning information, what information will it be scanning to find the best result? Is it going to be scanning Google and other search engines as well as specific websites and other tools? And this is where we're going to have to really pay attention. People in the SEO business like myself are going to have to really continue to pay attention as to where they're seeking this information. I find a lot of my customers who are at the number one spot of Google when I do searches for in Grok or ChatGPT, I'm finding them being the first ones as well. But these tools aren't going to only use Google, you know. So when AI is scanning everything out there that it has in existence of content and knowledge about a subject, the more that you're everywhere, the more that you have that chance of them picking you up. You know, they'll see your reviews here, they'll see you ranking, content here, they'll see profiles here, and mentions there, and they're gonna pick the people who, just like Google's algorithm picks what they believe to be the best person to place at the top, and they believe that person to be the best based on how much activity, how much reviews, how much, content, all that wonderful stuff that I've talked about in other videos. AI is going to be doing the same thing. They're going to be scanning for information, and they're going to be learning from that information and using that information to suggest who they feel is the best. And they're going to suggest who they feel is the best because they're going to find information of who other people feel is the best. And they're going to say, hey, there's a general consensus that this company is the best in this area based on everything that I've scanned and discovered, right? So as a company, you're going to want to really start thinking about search everywhere optimization. In a way, it's similar to traditional advertising where, traditional advertising was, I've got to put my brand everywhere. And the more people in an area or a targeted market see my brand, the more that they're, likely to choose me. So in traditional advertisement, it's like, hey, if the person's seeing me on the billboard, driving by every day, hearing me on the radio, seeing me in their mailbox, watching me on their TV, well, now I'm hitting them up everywhere, right? And they're more likely to choose my brand through brand recognition. All of that stuff, in my opinion, is still important, depending on the company, depending on the brand. There's a reason why these big brands, insurance companies, tech companies, you see them all over TV advertisements on streaming services and whatnot. They're building a brand. They're making sure that they're the ones out there to the masses. Okay. But take that digital, right? And you want that same concept. Don't just be at top of Google. Be at top of Google. Be on top of Bing. Be on top of DuckDuckGo. Have your review profiles on all of these. Be posting on your LinkedIn. Be posting on your Facebook. Be posting videos on YouTube and Rumble, and be cutting shorts on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. Make content on X. Do streams, live streams on multiple platforms. And there's even platforms that I'm just not as familiar with myself because of possibly an age, the generation that I'm not falling into. I have never been one personally to really get into like Snapchat and stuff, but there's a market share for that, right? How about running a radio jingle on Spotify? Um, People are listening to their music on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, like all these, platforms, right? People are on all these things and they're doing stuff daily. So be there, um, and make sure that your content fits where you're at. Now, this can be really expensive sounding. It can be really time consuming sounding. Obviously, we can't be in every one of these spots with a huge ad budget, and we can't, be spending time, making all of this content all day long when we're trying to run an electrical company or a plumbing company or, a dentistry or doctor's office, right? But the idea here is to really think beyond Google, maximize Google first. Actually, don't let me when I say think beyond Google, I don't mean think away from Google, right? Google still has 90% of the market share, 90%. And a lot of these AI services are pulling information from Google. I only know this because, like I said, my customers at the top of Google seem to be also at the top of the AI searches, right? So for right now, that's working. So, if something's working, keep working it, but be prepared for other things in the future. So, right now, maximize your ability in Google because you don't give up on Google. Google's still massive. Okay. So make sure your map is at the top with reviews. Make sure your website's at the top. Make sure you're paying for Google local services. Okay. And then now look at what else is going on in your community and in your targeted area. Okay. Get out of the digital too. Join community events, consider being in those mailboxes and on a billboard. Okay. And then think what else is going on in my local area. Maybe run a Spotify jingle of your business to everyone in your targeted area. That's a cheap way to get radio advertisement to a small area by having your jingle play between music in sports clips that people are listening to on Spotify. It's so much cheaper than trying to go to a large radio station and pay for radio advertisement, right? Run those Facebook ads so that you're showing up in the feeds. Run those possible LinkedIn ads potentially. Run ads on X potentially. And even if you're not putting money to run those ads, then get a platform or start posting on those platforms, right? We've got a software that we use through Bird Eye, but integrated in our websites through Wix. They also have the same social media software. Birdeye is actually the number one social media AI software that exists according to the website G2, and this is why we partner them. So we offer this as well. But Birdeye software allows you to set up your social media posting all from one place and have it push out and schedule. So you can go and plan a whole week of stuff that you want pushed out to X and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, etc. Right? That's what I do with these videos. Once I'm done with these videos, I cut them into shorts and then I have those shorts posted out. In the meantime, we have other things outside of this video that we have scheduled and posted. And then the Bird Eye and Wix software allows you to track all the statistics like the metrics, the reporting, the insights. You can see all your posts and you can see insights and metrics all at the same spot, right? So there's cheap ways to get out there and do this stuff, right? You can use software like we're talking about that we offer where you can get a social media presence built without having to pay for advertisement on that social media, right? There's cheap ways to do radio advertisement through these apps, okay? And then as your budget grows, as you're getting leads from your website top of Google and your map and your local service ads, as you're getting responses to your social media posting and leads generated from that, then you can decide, okay, why don't I try some display ads? Why don't I, try some every door direct mail? Why don't I get that billboard? Why don't I up my social media ad presence? But the key here is the idea of search everywhere optimization because people are looking from multiple sources and you want to understand your target market, understand what's the most valuable place to be first, second, third, understand what places you can slowly get into and increase over time. Test some things out. If you're ever testing something, I say give it at least 6 months. Don't post on social media for a couple of weeks and be like, oh, dang, it's not working, right? No, post consistently for 6 months and you'll start seeing what's working and what's not. Same with every door direct mail, radio ads, all advertising. I say give at least 6 months minimum. I like to look at things on a yearly basis, right? What's the other thing about search everywhere optimization? People, it's a different market out there these days. People are really trying to build trust. They're not so quick to pick one person randomly. Maybe if someone's in an emergency, they need an emergency, like they need their car towed, they need emergency plumbing, something like that, where it's like emergency, water's coming into my house right now. Probably gonna vet people out a little less because obviously under an emergency situation, they want to find, one or two people real quick and pick one of them. But outside of an emergency situation, people are doing their due diligence. They are really trying to find an experienced expert who's going to do a good job. I mean, we're in the day and age where there's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of competition, and we know there's a lot of companies that do shoddy work, right? It's it's just the way it is. When you get so many people in a competitive market, then and things are so pricey, like they can be right now, then the last thing you want to do is spend a lot of money for a job that's done mediocre. And people know that. People want a job done right, a job done well. And they are willing to pay for that. They're willing to pay more for a good job than less for a mediocre bad job. But at the same time, no one wants to pay a lot of money for something that doesn't really cost a lot of money to begin with, right? So it's got to be reasonably priced. The whole point here is that people are building trust because they're not just jumping to the first person they find. So the idea of being everywhere also has to do with the idea that people are vetting heavier. So they're looking in multiple places. They might check your website out, but they're not just going to pick you right away necessarily. They're going to probably jump and see those reviews. Then they might jump onto that social media, see if you're active, see if what's your team look like, what your images look like. Did they feel comfortable with the things you're saying? Um, so in a world where we have heavy vetting, in a world where we have all kinds of apps and websites, search engines, apps, social media sites to choose from, and in a world where we have just a lot of competition in the marketplace, you have to be everywhere because people are everywhere and they are using all of these tools to heavily vet. So we are the SEO contractor, but we're really the started out as the search engine optimization contractor, the SEO contractor, but I believe we're in a day and age where we're really in the search everywhere optimization business. So hope you liked that talk. Hope you are broadening your mind as to how to approach marketing for your own local business and our company, the SEO contractor. So consider us the search everywhere optimization contractor. Come talk to us, ask us any questions, leave comments, subscribe to the channel so you can get this every Thursday at about 1:30. I do a live stream just talking unscripted, unedited, so you can get out of my experience, the best advice that I'm able to give, and not editing something up together to make you feel fun and try to give you the best of the best. I want to give you everything that I'm thinking out of the top of my head and let you dissect that for how you will. So the SEO contractor, I am the CEO. My name is CJ Cordis. This is SEO Explained with CJ, and I hope you enjoyed it.